Tommy, how do you like about having your mind changed based purely on Nicolas Cage?
I like it, man, because I'm a big Nicolas Cage fan, and I found out the other day that you just weren't in the fucking Nicolas Cage fucking film, The Fan Club, because you do not like National Treasure. And listen, man, those movies are called National Treasure because they're exactly that. They're a national treasure.
I don't know if I want to live in that country.
Hey, it's an international treasure. So you'll live in it, Like, you have no choice. You go to Ethiopia, fucking Nicolas Cage and fucking National Treasure is a national treasure. They're all like, you walk through and they're like, they don't even know Nicolas Cage. They're just like, that's the guy from National Treasure.
Yes. And onto the subject and why that's relevant, we are talking about Digman. And we're reviewing this. Much like we reviewed the first episode, we're giving it a score 0 to 50 each. Then we combine it and rank the episodes of the season as they go along. This is Televerse Reviews. Welcome to Televerse Reviews. I'm your host, Alanus Maximus. This is my co-host, Tommy West. And as I said before, you're miming again, aren't you? We are reviewing Digman, Patreon exclusive. And Tommy has lost the plot already. This train's off the rails, but
Chug
go off the rails. So without further ado, without further reasons to fuck around, how did you feel about this episode?
See, when you asked me what ranking I give it, I was like, what do I feel about this episode? I was like, I feel very the same about this episode that I did about the first one. I believe that it was sort of, it might have had a couple of funnier bits like than the first episode, but I think when you look at structure-wise, story-wise, sort of everything, I feel like it's sort of on the same par as the last episode. And for me, that was really hard to be like, which one do I like better, So I guess when we get to the scoreboard at the end, we'll talk a little bit more about my choices, what I gave it. But yeah, I think the show has it's shown that this is what it's consistently gonna kind of like dish out to us. It's not going to be probably any worse. It's probably not going to get super better. It's probably just going to stay where I think it is, which is this is a good, decent animated cartoon adult show that I love the humor. I love Andy Samberg, but again, I wouldn't put it up there with things like South Park or The Simpsons even, and not new Simpsons, but old Simpsons and things like that. You know what I mean? I still think it's better than Family Guy. I still think it's better than American Dad. I still think it's better than The Cleveland Show. I think it's better than all the things from Seth MacFarlane. But that's because, as I said, I'm not a hater. It's an opinion. If you like those shows more, good on you. I just like Andy Samberg's humor and the Lonely Island humor and the Brooklyn Nine-Nine humor a lot more than I like the Family Guy Seth MacFarlane humor. So I think this show speaks to me a lot more, and I really enjoyed the episode and found myself really laughing again out loud like I did with the first one, with just a quick. And again, it's not even like the super funny bits that get me with this show. It's like just the quick fucking abuse that he'll hurl at someone, or the quick swear words he'll throw in. You know what I mean? I'm fucking saying. You know what I mean? Just or an example from the first episode is when he's like, "We got to get out of here. Shut the fuck up, Zane." You know what I mean? That's the stuff that gets me all the time because I just think it's hilarious that this guy is just treats this person like shit, or he doesn't like. A line from this one that I really loved was the person that was like talking about how he didn't like phones and stuff, and Andy Samberg's character, Dig or whatever it was, like, no, I'm not on board with this. I fucking love my phone, so you know what I mean? Nope, you're alone on this one. Don't drag me into it. I love my fucking phone. You know. What was your thoughts on the episode?
I am very similar. Like it had a very similar kind of feel, but I think I was saying last week that the first episode kind of there were some good bits, but it lacked some really kind of jokes that really kind of tickled my funny bone. Whereas this week it had a couple, and they were kind of back to back, which was interesting. But the pigeon scene where they're running through those pigeons, that just brought a smile to my face. And the gondola license kind of montage-y scene. I'm a big fan of, I can't remember his name, but the pilot dude. And I think he really shone there. It's and even just like the small jokes within that, like just after it, how they're like, he's telling him to be quiet because he's a gondolier and he's singing, and he's like, no, it's more conspicuous if I don't sing. And then the second the bad guys come along, they're like, that gondolier's not singing. That's suspicious.
And I like the whole getting a gondola license is really hard or whatever. It's really hard. You have to do this, and it costs $60 or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like all this stupid shit. But yeah, the pigeon scene I think was the standout bit when they were running. Like, that's right. What we'll do to lose them is we'll run through the pigeons because they're notorious for when you run through them, they fly off and they'll cover our tracks and they'll get lost in the pigeons. And then they run through the pigeons and then they're just crushing the pigeons to death. They're not flying. They're not flying. Why aren't they flying? We're just stepping on them. And then she's like, I don't know, but it's disgusting. And he's just like, yeah, it is disgusting, but it's also not beneficial to our cause. I'm never gonna get them off the bottom of my shoe.
When they're in the actual canal, they're like, at least the canal water washed off the pigeon blood.
Yeah. See, what I love is that I feel like this show's growing on you more.
I think this episode definitely did a lot more for me than the first one.
I think you're understanding the humor a little bit more, and you kind of know what to expect. Yeah, like maybe with the first episode you weren't really sure, and the humor was sort of like, wait, what is this? You know, but when you start to get the idea of what the humor is sort of aiming to do, you're like, I'm into this. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what I wanted to say was that I think you really would like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, because Brooklyn Nine-Nine is this without the swear words. Like it's Andy Samberg just being Andy Samberg. You know what I mean? Like where he'll say like he'll come up with a plan to catch the bad guy, and it'll be a terrible plan. He'll be like, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this and do this. And he's like, what do you all think? And I'll be like, and he'd be like, I knew it was pushing it too far. So what we're going to do is like, we're going to go do this, and comes up with something else. You know what I mean? So like Andy Samberg is great. I think that a lot of the stuff he does is very underrated. I think that it doesn't get enough credit for what it does. Like, for example, the Popstar movie that we ended up with last week, that clip from it, that movie severely underperformed at the movies after, you know, they thought it was going to do super good because a Lonely Island movie is what everyone fucking wanted. And I think that the problem with that movie was naming it what you named it, not naming it the Lonely Island movie, or making them like that it's about the Lonely Island, really about the Lonely Island, whereas it was like a Lonely Island movie, but it was like they were playing different, like they want the Lonely Island. It was like a Lonely Island movie, but it was all Andy Samberg as Connor for real, like the main person, and then he was in a thing called the Style Boys with the other two guys from the Lonely Island, and he went solo, and they don't want to. Oh wait, he took one of them with him, and they became like a two-person thing, but the other guy's just a DJ up the top. And they make him wear this stupid Daft Punk fucking robot helmet thing that you like fall. It's so heavy, he falls off stage and shit. Like, and it has this giant light that comes out of it and it goes all the way into the sky. Like, it's just an awesome movie, but they didn't name it correctly. They didn't market it as a Lonely Island movie. Like, if they would have been like the Lonely Island movie and stuck to the story that they did, but made it about the Lonely Island and not just this kind of for real and shit, I think it would have done a lot better. So, was severely underrated, severely underperformed, which is why we're never going to get another one. Thank you to everyone who never went and saw that movie or gave it any support, because you fucked it for everyone else, but whatever. Because I was really disappointed, man. When I saw that movie, I fucking was dying. Like, I was rolling, bro, on the floor because there was so many good fucking bits in that movie. I mean, okay, for instance, I'm going to say one thing quickly. There's this one bit in that movie where, well, not one bit, there's this running thing where the one dude who didn't go along with him tried to do solo stuff and it didn't work out. And he moved to a farm and started a farm and like became a farm guy. And then, like, it keeps cutting to him on the farm. Like, and there's one part where it's like everyone's listening to it. And like he's the new song from Connor for real, and they're like, and then it cuts to him on the farm field, and he's just like listening to it. He goes, "Sounds fucking horrible," you know. Like, and then on his farm, there's nothing growing. Like it's all dirt and shit. And he's like, "I just can't make anything like work properly." And like he's digging the soil, and you look around, it's barren and shit. And then right at the end of the movie, like right at the end when they kind of make up and they're all hanging out on his farm and they're making a new album, like he goes, "Come this way," and you go behind the house and there's just giant fields of weed. The whole movie you thought this cunt had like a terrible farm with nothing going on and was a loser and all this. Then at the end there's just these giant crops of weed with like all these workers wearing the straw hats and shit. Like, and then he opens up the barn doors and there's a full recording studio in there. It's just a great movie, and I feel that was underrated. I think the only thing I think that this show is gonna go the same way. I think that this show is not going to get the views that people want as much as it's a good show and it's funny. And I feel like this show isn't going to get maybe more than 2 seasons. I mean, how do you feel about this?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting because like no one knows about it. Like I haven't heard anyone else talking about it, which is interesting.
It was weird too because with the promotion of this movie, they really started the promotion after the first episode had already dropped.
Yeah.
Because I started seeing things on, Andy Samberg popping up on all these late shows, but it was already after the first episode had aired, So
is it still only 4 episodes at the moment that are...
Well, we can check that and see if there's any more in thing. Also, have we noticed yet? Have you? I haven't noticed any of the things, any people that would be Daniel Radcliffe yet?
I have not, no.
Me either. So let's scroll down. 4 episodes. It's getting okay reviews. Initially, I didn't enjoy this show, but I decided to give it another chance. To my surprise, I found it to be a great time pass show. Positives: the show has a good concept. I particularly enjoyed the ending of the first episode. The voice dubbing cast is outstanding, featuring several actors from Brooklyn Nine-Nine and even Daniel Radcliffe from the Harry Potter movies. The episodes are short and there's no laughter track. Negatives: it would be better if all episodes were released on the same day. There are several archaeologist terms that may be difficult for average viewer to understand. The show has its moments. It could have been funnier, and the side characters could have been better. Overall, I would say that this show is watchable and a good time pass. So, like, that's the sort of thing. It's like, as I said, man, it's sort of like feeling like a middle of the road show where it is good, it's funny, but I don't see it having long, lasting legs, and that's a shame because, as I said, people just never give things a go. They just immediately jump on the whole. It doesn't interest me, and it's like, if you went and saw the Only I movie, I guarantee you, if more people went and saw it, we would get more of that because it was so well done, man. It was one of the funniest movies I've seen in years, and it's a shame that this show seems to be like it's going to go the same way. You know what I mean? That's the way I feel about it because even when you look at Comedy Central and the trailer for it and things like that, like there aren't that many views on it.
Yeah.
I think it's like last time I checked, it may have been 56K. So 66K views on the actual official Comedy Central YouTube channel. 66,000 views. That's not good.
Big.
That's not good. No. Dude, to put it into terms, our top video on our channel has had 45K. So that's to put it in top terms to you. That like our top video has had 20K less than fucking a prime time show on Comedy Central. And I think Comedy Central were kind of hoping that this may be their next big hit. And I think that maybe the reason that they decided to do 4 episodes was maybe they were a little skeptical because animation is expensive.
Yeah. Be interesting to see if we get more episodes at this point, if it is struggling like that. Yeah,
I mean, like 66K. I mean, I'm trying to think of what else Comedy Central we could look up to compare? Okay, let's go to Comedy Central, Workaholics. Okay. And let's have a look at trailers for it. Trailer when they were originally released. 134K. I mean, 134K, but then there's like clips, 15K views, and they're just little clips. 30, no, that's from someone else. So it seems like Workaholics have literal, like probably double, like their sort of fan base. And that was like one of the trailers for the first seasons of Workaholics. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Workaholics seems to have like spanned. There's a perfect example. There's one clip here, just a clip on Comedy Central from Workaholics, and it's got more views than the trailer for Digman. Just a clip. By heaps. It's like 65,000 more or something. So, and it's something like South Park that's not on Comedy Central anymore. Back in the day, that would have had more views, 100%. Because think about when South Park hit, was sort of like cultural, like smash that was, you know?
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the reason I think that we didn't like The Voice last time we talked about it was that we
didn't realize the Nick Cage element.
Yeah, so like I saw an interview on Seth Meyers, which, you know, fucking, come on, like one of the least known, least charismatic, boring late night host shows, but whatever. Saw Andy Samberg on that talking about the show, and they were like, so The Voice, it's inspired by Nick Cage. And he's like, yeah, it's actually the Nick Cage voice I did on SNL for his impersonation of Nicolas Cage. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it's the reason me and you didn't understand it straight away is because me and you obviously never watched SNL because we don't live in America.
Yeah.
And also, it's kind of like, shit, SNL. I mean, what would you say to that being shit? Would you say that SNL is pretty average most of the time?
Yeah, I mean, it's had some great moments, but overall, it's not that great. Like, I couldn't watch it religiously.
I just found something funny. Let's check this out. Let's watch this. You know, this is going to be good. This is Nicolas Cage with Andy Samberg as Nicolas Cage.
And now it's time for Get in the Cage, our flag.
Is that Seth Meyers?
I think so.
It has to be. I don't know who that guy is. I think it's Seth Meyers. So yeah, that's where he got the voice from, and we didn't know that, so we apologize to anyone that was watching it, that watches this episode, the first episode, and is just like, you fucking morons. You know what I mean? Well, honest with that, we should probably bring up our scores, unless there's anything you want to talk about more.
No, I'm pretty much done with that. And so, what would you? Okay, well, you can go first. What would you give this?
Maybe first you should explain to everyone again how this goes.
Ah, yes, of course. In case you skipped through the very start, don't rewind. I've got you. We basically give a score each of 0 to 50. We combine them for a total score for the episode. Create a leaderboard sort of thing of the episodes from the season, and then at the end of the season, be it 4 episodes or more, who knows, we'll have an average score.
Awesome. So with that, let's bring up the scoreboard. We have episode 2 at number 1 with 74, and episode 1 at 70. Now, Alanis, what did you give this episode?
I gave this episode some extra points because of what we have on screen there, the pigeon scene and the gondola license scene. So my contribution this week was 35.
And mine was?
And yours was 31. 39, sorry. 39.
Which
39.
is a total of 74.
Yes.
Very good. So, what I thought we'd do again. Before we do that, how are you? How pumped are you for the next episode? Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm not jumping out of my seat, but I'm also keen to see where it goes.
Do you think that I feel like even though it's only gotten 4 episodes, and
Yeah, it has to be more because it's building so much up.
yeah, that's what what I was about to say is the fact that I feel like it's like obviously it's got an overbranching story, you know what I mean? And I feel like we haven't got enough of that story yet, and I feel like it's building to something that's going to grow more, but I don't see how they're going to grow it too much in the next 3, and then like the next episode and the one after that, and then wrap it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So surely we're going to get a cliffhanger of ending on the episode 4, and let's hope that gets approved for a second season, because otherwise we may never get an answer to that cliffhanger. What did have you watched Disenchantment?
I've watched the first season and a half, I think.
Yep. So that's apparently getting another season. They've done 4 parts now. And I think that this show is arguably funnier than Disenchantment, even though I think Disenchantment's probably higher quality with storytelling and with plot and with world building and with character building. I think that there's a lot of side characters in Disenchantment that are actually awesome. Probably better than Bean herself. Like, I love Elfo. Like, I fucking love Elfo. He's so funny. And I love Lucy, like the devil, you know, like her little cat thing. And I love all the other characters in it, like Zod. You like the dude with the one eye thing. The guy, the jester that always getting thrown out the window. Oh no! And like the town crier. Like, where he's like, hear ye, and he's just like, all is well, good night, and it's 3:00 in the morning or whatever. He just walk, hear ye, no need for me to be talking, everything is okay. And everyone's like, would you shut up?
Yeah.
Or that the dude that's selling him me flavored water, just sitting in the tub. Oh, so good. So yeah, I thought we'd end this episode how we ended last week's episode, which is let's do a clip from Pop Star Never Stop Stopping with Andy Samberg, because I want this movie to get more praise. I want this to become a cult classic, and I want us to get more. And the only way to do that is let's pimp it. We're going to have to do a review on that movie.
Yes.
I think we should finish off Digman. Once we finish Digman, we'll do the Pop Star Never Stop Stopping review through.
Yeah, why not?
Because it's easier for us to do that than me go, all right, next we're doing Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Which is what, like 7 seasons, 24 episodes a season? Great show, though. Great show. All right. We're going to end with the song from Popstar Never Stop Stopping. It is actually the opener to the entire movie with the song I'm So Humble.
It's Connor. Bar none, I am the most humblest. #1 at the top of the humble list. My apple crumble is by far the most crumblest, but I act like it tastes bad. Humbleness. The thing about me that's so impressive is how infrequently I mention all of my successes. I poo-poo it when girls say that I should model. My belly's full from all the pride I swallow.
I've got it all, and I'm getting more, but I'm never falling along, 'cause you know I'm so humble.
So expensive.
I'm so humble. I'm so humble.
I'm not your normal definition of a rock star. I don't complain when my private jet is subpar. Your mom's old, but I'll ask if she's your sister. People say I'm charming, but I beg to differ. I feel more humble than Dikembe Mutombo. After a stumble, left him covered in a big pot of gumbo. I guess in a way, being gracious is my weakness. People say I'm so unpretentious for a genius.
I've got it Cause you know I'm so humble.
I say that with no ego.
So humble. I'm so humble.
I'm so humble. I instantly connected with that because I'm probably the most humble person that I know.
So there you go. Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Peace.